afternoon, dear judges, fellow students, and industry colleagues. My name is Astrid Pacheco.
I'm Lucy Tarragos.
I'm Olga Shaparenko.
And I'm Alexandra Fabero.
We are here representing Douglas College for the Hospitality Management Diploma, and we are
Team Infinity.
We chose this name because we are in an industry of infinite change. We are here to present to you the Joey Restaurant Group and how to capture cooks and chefs.
So our agenda for today, we'll start off with our current labor market situation, a brief introduction to Joey's, our macro solution, targeted tactics, and we'll finish off with our budget.
To start you off with the industry situation, we'd like to say that accommodation and food and beverage, hospitality industry competes with other sectors for employers. We hire around 7.5% of all people in British Columbia, which is quite a big sector, but there are a lot of other employers who are also looking for potential labor markets. So in order to win this competition, we need to create public awareness of good, exciting things happening in our industry, and that is public relations. In order to note what should be done, we just borrowed this information from the recent issue of the Vancouver Sun newspaper, and as you can see, hospitality industry is not even mentioned among GDP contributors, although our industry made over 13 billion in revenues in British Columbia alone last year. So we are contributors, but we are not mentioned there, so we definitely need to address this PR issue.
Another challenge that the hospitality industry is facing is the changing demographics. Traditionally, the hospitality industry is looking for a younger demographic. Based on these stats, you could see that the younger demographic segment is decreasing, which will cause a problem in the upcoming years for the hospitality industry.
As you can see, we have here the top 3 most affected jobs by this labor issue in the tourism industry. Because we're doing our research on the Joey Restaurant Group, we have decided to base our data on the food and beverage services with cooks and kitchen helpers. So as you can see, we have both over 50%, which is quite high, and that's going to represent a challenge for us to fill those positions.
So now that we have established our current market situation, we want to introduce you to Joey's. Joey's is not a business of food. It is a business of developing people. It was founded in 1992 by CEO and President Jeff Fuller. It has over 3,000 employees and 23 locations Canada-wide, one of them being in another one being in Washington State. Currently, their turnover is 66%. That being said, in 2010, they actually implemented new strategies for coaching and training, which decreased this turnover from 200% to the 66%. So we can clearly see that Joey's is doing a good job. And by doing a good job, they can now expand, and with expansion comes new challenges. Those challenges will be the focus of our presentation today, and we will try to come up with certain solutions to fill 600 upcoming job openings.
So we propose 3 strategies to increase Joey's labor pipeline to accommodate their expected growth. And they are creating, stealing, and keeping best possible employees.
We want to create a sustainable competitive advantage with the Explorer Quotient, developed for CTC as a new tool for market segmentation. The EQ moves from traditional demographics to psychographics, which takes into account values, interests, and lifestyle. There are 9 segments in this Explorer Quotient.
Out of these 9 segments, we decided to choose the free spirits because their personalities and personal values go really well with Joey, what the brand is and what the culture is. So what's a free spirit? They are outgoing, they are friendly, they like to socialize, they are brand aware. So when they like a brand, they stick with it. So this is really important for a company like Joey that is looking for new jobs and they want to keep their employees. So by by doing this change in the market segment, we are taking into consideration the personal values of people. We are creating effective messages to make them aware of us, and we are, in the long run, capturing this market segment, and they're going to stay with us.
So moving from the macro segment to a targeted topic, notwithstanding the current situation with the temporary workers program, we suggest that Joey's focus on landed immigrants. It's important to note that of the 12% nationwide landed immigrant workers, 36 are in the F&B sector. You can also see that almost half of the population is from China, Philippines, and India, so it's a very big market to try to attract. We will do so by promoting stability and career growth. These people came here for a better job, for a better life, and we want to do that. We want to give that to them through offering personal development programs. Joey's is already so good at doing that, and they need to keep that up and keep on reevaluating it and continuing with it. Furthermore, industry-specific ESL programs. This will ensure that you capture this market. They will feel more confident in their job, which will retain them, motivate them, and have more enthusiasm on the job.
Yes, and Joey's do a really impressive job with their employee development already. As you know, they cooperate with one of the leading universities in British Columbia in providing their employees with specifically tailored management program. So we suggest that Joey's continue cooperation with this university or any other educational institution in tailoring English language programs for their employees whose mother tongue is not English. That would make those employees more language confident and in the long run more satisfied with their job and will make them stay with Joey's longer. We also suggest that Joey's should cooperate with such organizations as GoToHR, Emerit, World Host. These organizations provide hand-on training for people in different career ways in hospitality and cooks and chefs in particular.
Another targeted tactic that we suggest Joey's to implement is to look for potential employees from other areas of study. We believe that regardless of your area of study, you will succeed at Joey's because your individual values align with Joey's personal values. At Joey's, you will grow and develop as a person and as a future employee.
So it's not about food anymore. We see now how the culinary arts are joining forces with different industries and how we have people growing their own vegetables, how they have passion about food. We have people from the health and medicine industries that generally care about what we put into our bodies. This creates, of course, different paths of what the culinary arts are. And for the heart of the house, it's now it's more balanced with the power it has with the front of the house. Now it's not so much about who owns the restaurant. It's not about what the restaurant is. It's about who's the chef, who's working with the chef, who's behind those kitchens.
In order to attract these different student markets, what Joey's really needs to do is to touch these markets on a more personal level. We suggest that through creation of eye-opening slogans, which they can implement on their career website or through their YouTube channels, they could attract these students. An example would be, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Show the humanities or the social studies student that they can leave a mark on their community through the work they do at Joey's. Another example, eating is a necessity, but cooking is art. Show the visual arts student that they can be creative at Joey's. They can create a masterpiece on a plate.
And finally, the budget. How much money do we have to spend? Well, from the open sources, we found out that a full family of restaurants, which include Joey's, Earl's, and Cactus Club, earned around $450 million last year. And if we break it down and narrow it down to Joey restaurants, that would be around $100 million in revenues. And based on the industry standards, we estimated that 2% will be spent on human resources in general, and that leaves us with $2 million to spend on our HR strategy.
Out of that $2 million, we suggest that $1 million be dedicated towards recruitment. The strategy that we just talked about earlier, the EQ strategy, would cost $100,000 to implement. Based on a 5-year implementation, it would be $20,000 per year. We also just suggest that $50,000 to $80,000 be dedicated towards a full-time employee's salary, $600,000 towards advertising, and $200,000 towards updating the Joey's website to integrate the proposed suggestions that we talked about today.
So by doing this, by customizing our marketing mix and by knowing what the needs, wants, problems, and demands of our employees are, we are going to be able to make our employees' experience at Joey's exceed their expectations or the idea that they have about the company. And of course, this is going to lead to satisfaction, and highly satisfied employees is going to show into very satisfied guests. And as we all know, very highly satisfied guests is going to turn into higher levels of profit.
So to leave you today with something tangible, we invite you to the Douglas College Hospitality Management Career Days, which will be held March 10th and 11th. If you want further information, Mark Elliott is the person to contact, and we hope to see you there.